Welcome back to the Interior Design Podcast. I'm your host, Hayley Roy, and if you're anything like me, you're always on the lookout for ways to design smarter, not harder. That means yarns that don't just look beautiful, but do beautiful too. Today, we are in Clerkenwell Design Week, in the Solus showroom. Thank you, Joe, for having us. And we're pulling at the threads of sustainability, quite literally, with two people who are helping weave real change in the interior design world. Did you know that 1.6 million tonnes of carpet are disposed of in the EU every year, mostly in landfill and incinerators? Today, we're going to help you make a difference to reduce this. I'm joined by some of the senior team at Sustainable Yarns, Hyzak, the sales director, and Valerie Buchhart, the marketing manager. Sustainable Yarns are a supplier to the main brands of flooring that we all know and love. Glenn and Valerie work for Sustainable Yarns, who are a manufacturer of carpet yarn for residential and contract. They're pioneering to make yarns that are truly sustainable. Whether you're a designer, a supplier, or just a nerd like me, you're going to love this one. So, welcome to the Interior Design Podcast.
Welcome, Hayley.
Glenn, can you explain a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, we are a manufacturer of yarns. We are active in 3 segments, which is automotive, residential, and contract. Our forte is in making one-step 3-ply yarns, which means that in one production step we are going to build in 3 colors through different assemblies, so helping the design of a carpet, of a residential carpet, of a carpet tile. And in the last years we felt the need to do this in a more sustainable way, because carpet in itself, the yarn in itself, is a main ingredient of the carpet. It's what you see, it's what you're walking over. Majority of the yarns that we are producing are made with polyamide 6, also known as nylon. The carbon footprint of nylon doesn't have a great reputation, or didn't have a good reputation, but there are solutions, good solutions, that bring down the carbon footprint of those yarns, of that polyamide. And that's a few of those solutions we're using to make our yarns more sustainable, hence the name Sustainable Yarns.
Amazing. It's really cool that you're doing something so good for the environment. It's so admirable. What's the definition of a sustainable yarn?
Well, if I can take this one, the sustainable yarns are for us offering multiple solutions and all bringing down the carbon footprint of the material. Of the polyamide is the main material for carpet tiles. And that material, that is the raw material, the core inside material on the surface that you see of a carpet. There we, in general, bringing down the carpet footprint and the global warming potential. That's the main obvious goal of all these different types of sustainable solutions. We do have 3 different solutions, and we have one that is bringing down the global warming potential drastically, which is called Eco-Balance, and that's in fact a biocircular, biogenic solutions, which sources are mainly used cooking oil, waste streams, circular waste streams out of the food market, and that's the main one that brings down the global warming potential drastically down. Another one is recycled content. This is more commonly and also well known to the audience. EcoCycle is the name of that, and it's incorporating recycled content coming from post-industrial waste, but also post-consumer waste. And then the last one is a solution that also brings down the global warming potential, but is based on fossil base. It's a virgin polyamide, but still has already a really reduced carbon footprint. So in general, Sustainable Yarns is for us bringing down the carpet footprint in carpet tiles.
Amazing. Sustainability, and the word sustainable in the design world, is thrown around quite a lot, and it's as a designer, I sometimes find it quite confusing that some things are recycled and recyclable, and then other things are bringing down the carbon footprint because they're doing this, and there's lots of different ways of being sustainable. So for listeners who are not familiar, on average 80% of a carpet's environmental footprint comes from the yarn's fibre. Mm-hmm. What makes the yarn sustainable?
I mean, we're going to go back to that principle of carbon footprint, because that is measurable, it's comparable, and it's becoming the accepted standard to say something is more sustainable towards the virgin product, the virgin yarn, than it's more sustainable compared to a virgin yarn. If you bring down the carbon footprint of your yarn, you bring down the carbon footprint of your carpet. There is other tools at your carpet tile, your wall-to-wall carpet is the backing. There are also new solutions in the market which other suppliers in the market are bringing to our industry. But we feel that, okay, as a yarn manufacturer, you have your responsibility also to make sure that the product, that the yarn, which is the visible part of your carpet, is sustainable or more sustainable than the one that we had 10, 15 years ago. Now, what we're talking about is the status of today. I mean, if 5, 6 years ago, the virgin yarns that we were making, I'm going to throw around a few numbers, I try to keep them as light as possible, but you had a standard carpet yarn that you manufactured. Per kilo of yarn, we emitted around 8 kilograms of CO2. That the virgin yarns already came down. The industry did efforts, also our suppliers, our partners did efforts, is brought down already to 6.5, but we have solutions that bring down the carpet yarns carbon footprint levels down to 4.5, 4, 2 kilograms of CO2. So you feel that there is, I mean, if you cut it by 4, you're already doing a big effort in reducing that carbon footprint. And we're all dreaming to get that to 0.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what everybody's looking for, that's the holy grail. But we're just not getting there right now, but we're doing it in steps, in incremental steps. And if I see, and now I'm talking for the company that we're working for, 7 years ago, we were nowhere. Today we have solutions that bring down carbon footprint by 3/4. And those products that we're selling are growing. So there is attraction in the market, there is customers out there who see the need for it, who have a willingness to pay, because let's face it, there is also some part of cost involved. But if you think about the future, in the future it's going to become more expensive if you don't act now. So I believe that us as a yarn manufacturer, but together with the customers that we are serving, with our clients, we're taking that responsibility for the future already. And that makes, I think, a compelling story. But we're not there yet. Yeah, that's also where we're very open and very clear about. We're not there yet. We're still searching. We're still looking for better solutions. We're still trying to find ways to make our own production processes more efficient. But it's a gradual step. And sometimes we find a product, sometimes we find a solution and say, okay, this is a big step forward. Understandably, it's not the 0 that you're looking for, but it's already a big step. So let's work with that already. And that's how we're going to get there at some point. We're going to get there, but it's going to take some steps.
One of the reasons that I asked you guys to come on the podcast is because you're genuinely doing something about the environment. And there's an awful lot of greenwashing around, isn't there? I've seen so much of it. What do you think of greenwashing?
I think greenwashing it's good that it is on the table because there's a lot of stories, a lot of people, making messages or making claims which are not always trustful or are also not that transparent for the customers, and it's not really helpful as well for customers to make the right choices. And I think greenwashing is a topic which we should all put a lot of attention to, because we should come more open, transparent, ethical, but also correct in communication, I would say. And me as marketing, but also in sales, we really put the level very high on what we are claiming and what we are communicating to the market, because we do back up everything that we claim, and we have certificates. We have people, colleagues from us that work on product compliancy, that knock on our doors every time and say, "Okay, be careful with that wording or that word." So we think that the more transparent, the more ethical we are, and the more correct we are communicating to customers that have to make choices in the right materials. So it's good that greenwashing is on the table, and we should help the ones that have difficulties with communicating on sustainability to help them move forward, because we have been working on that already for many years. Perhaps we can call that we can say that we are already a bit more expert level than other ones, and let's put that forward. But we do help as well our customers and even the customers of our customers, and that's why we are here at Clerkenwell as well. Bringing on the right messages is very important because it's a complex story. It will remain complex, but we do need to communicate, and we do have to talk to each other about things and help things moving along.
Absolutely.
So,
And what we also do feel with our customers and the customer of our customers is that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we were looking for a simple answer to a very complex question.
yeah.
I think that, and that's a good thing, there is some more maturity in our industry, growing to have an open ear for somewhat more complex story. Yes, everybody knows recycling. You and I, we are consumers, we all know how to recycle. So if you can come with a solution which is recycling, okay, everybody gets it, it's an easy sell. But we won't get there solely with recycled material, because there's a lot of stuff out there, but we still have the difficulties of getting it back. So before we are able to solve that issue, where we're going to get back all that polyamide, all that stuff that's already out there, that's another point of discussion, but that's where we as an industry have to find solutions. But to get it more sustainable, to make sure that within 10, 15, 20 years we can still make carpet yarns, we can still make carpets, we'll have to find other solutions. And those other solutions are biocircular, they are decreasing the carbon footprint of your material. And we do feel that there is more willingness to listen to that explanation there, and also as a carpet manufacturer, to go out and sell that story. So that's a good thing. There is a more an openness to understand, okay, it's maybe not entirely what I thought it was going to be, but I get it. It decreases the carbon footprint, so yes,
It's
the
better.
sustainability message is there, and it's better for the future of our environment, of our planet,
Yeah.
and of our industry.
One of the things that I've found, and I'm a bit of an eco warrior at home, is so I recently found out that some of the toilet roll that I was using that I thought was eco, because it was made from bamboo, was made in China. And I was really confused. And what they're doing is they are, for me to buy that bamboo toilet roll, it is much more environmentally friendly than it is to buy a different type of toilet roll that's also made in China, but this one's better. So, and I was looking at their website, and it was saying, explaining that actually, the way that it's manufactured is much better in China than it is in the UK, and it's so even though you've got the miles of the boat, it's still a better solution, and it's better than what we were doing before. So, and we were talking about this earlier, weren't we, about manufacturing? It's just very much. It's very, very difficult because we're not manufacturing in the UK very much. Everything that you're asking people to do is from scratch. No one's got a template or a standard item. People are making things from scratch, and they're doing it bespoke because, for example, a ceiling we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, correct.
We were talking about a ceiling where the client wanted to be sustainable. We've got a price from the UK to do it, it's £200,000. We've got a price from China to do it, it's £50,000. Like the client hasn't got to the 200,000 for the ceiling, so it's going to China. But it's about kind of, when you make those decisions, it's the Chinese manufacturer that you choose, is that the most sustainable one? It's just about kind of inching your way forward, isn't it? And until we actually get people manufacturing ceilings and toilet roll in the UK, we're not going to be able to make those choices affordably. It's about doing, what was it you were saying earlier about doing?
Affordable and acceptable.
Affordable and acceptable.
Acceptable, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because it's not
yes.
acceptable to pay £200,000 for a ceiling when you can buy it for 50.
No, correct. No.
And this is the sustainable argument, isn't it? About you've got to just keep inching. You were saying inching away and keep going forward, so it makes it makes it acceptable and sustainable.
And by pushing for those solutions, at some point you can make an economy of scale about it, because that's also part of sustainability. I mean, yes, of course, we're doing this out of a honest to God concern for what lies ahead of us, but also out of a concern to be able to continue our business. So sustainable, yes, and it's sustainability on the environmental point, but it's also sustainable on the economical point. And I believe that we're more and more able to prove to ourselves, to our shareholders, to the market, that with a sustainable product, you're able to make a good product and you're able to make a good market out of it. You are able to sustain also economically. So that combination, I think, is maybe one of the more valuable insights that we have found for ourselves in the last years, that, okay, by growing, we are finding other solutions, we're finding other partners, and you're growing in an economy of scale where your cost comes down a little bit, where it becomes a bit more affordable to sell an acceptable solution.
So let's talk interiors. How do we get designers to care? How should designers be thinking about their flooring choices, especially in commercial projects?
I think all designers have dreams on designs and whatever colors, contrast and patterns and whatever. We see a lot of very nice things at Clerkenwell here. And our message would be that they do not have to stop their dreams, as it perfectly fits with sustainability. They have a freedom of choice in carpet designs and colors, whatever project they have, whatever they dream they have about what their customers are asking, or the project even, how it is defined. It doesn't have to stop with sustainability because it perfectly fits together. So if they have sustainability in mind, if they do their things at home and they have taken care of their children and they do the choices they can do as a private person, they can do it perfectly in their jobs.
What are some of the most exciting fibres or techniques that you're working on?
Well, I'm quite fond about our EcoBalance solution. It's using, in its basis, it's using used cooking oil, it's using tall oil, so it's using waste streams out of products that already have a life cycle, that are not taking away anything from the agricultural land that we have, so we're not taking away potential food growing land, and it reduces the amount of hard crude oil that we're using to make our carpet. So for me, that's a solution I get excited about that one. The other one is the latest addition that we made to the portfolio, is Eco Yarn, because although it's still a virgin product, so it still uses oil, I mean, together with the right choice of the material that we're using, in combination with the colleagues that we have in procurement, we went out and about and started looking for who's best in class. And we actually found people who are really good at, in the upstream production of the polyamide, to reuse any waste stream that is in there, using green energy, and it brings down the carbon footprint, and it's a solution that 2-3 years ago we didn't even imagine, and today it's there, today we're marketing it. What's next? Next steps are really to work on what would be using more of our own waste streams. Yeah? So while producing the yarn, you also have some waste. So find a way to make sure that we could reuse that in a certain type of products. There's also, and that's a whole other discussion, it's to start using recycled polyester maybe as a source in automotive carpets. Then there's anything out there on bio-based. Today we're not there yet. Today there is, we've tried it in the past. The issue that we had was we run into trouble with color, because with all the solutions that we currently have, as Valerie also already mentioned, it's not because it's sustainable that it would have an influence on your color. You can do whatever you want. I mean, the brightness of colors that we have in our virgin yarns, we can make the exact same in our sustainable yarns. With bio-based products, with really bio-sourced material, it's a bit harder because there's deviation in colors. But these are ways that we're currently looking for. And that's research that we're doing ourselves. It's research that we're asking from our partners, our suppliers, to do. And I think that's also maybe one of the pleasant things in the last years, where we started asking for information, where we started asking for solutions, for numbers. Carbon footprint numbers, global warming potential numbers. At first, some of our suppliers said, guys, why you need that for? Why are you asking? And we've come from that question to the point where freely they're giving the numbers and the details that we require. And now we're at the point where if they have found themselves something new, they're knocking on our door. Guys, it's useful for you. So the whole ecosystem of the industry, before it becomes a carpet, is also doing their part. and that momentum is there. And I think it's what we're doing right now is taking that momentum to convince our customers, convince our suppliers, convince our own people that it is entirely possible to make a yarn in a more sustainable way, to have a floor covering that is more sustainable than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And the speed at which it goes is quite promising for the future. We're not there yet, we're very aware of that, but yes, we're doing it. We're moving towards that direction.
That's so exciting. It's so inspiring. So before we wrap up, for any designer who's listening who wants to start sourcing more sustainably, what one change can they make today?
Make sure that you choose a carpet manufacturer that has sustainability in his mindset. And there's quite a few out there. I mean, times are long gone that you had few pioneers and then all the rest didn't care about it. That also is changing. I mean, we feel that, and I believe it's a kind of a, was the chicken, was the egg? I have no answer on that one, but we're pushing through sustainable solutions. Market is asking for it, designers are asking for it, so everybody sees the benefit of getting in there from a point of sustainable economics, with the added benefit that it truly benefits the environment, the planet that we're working in, that we're living in. So it's, I think it's all about choices, making well-informed choices. Make sure that you read up. SustainableYarns.com is maybe a good start to get some of the definitions right. What is the definition of sustainability? How can a carpet manufacturer claim he is sustainable? That's information you can find on the platform. Start from there, and then with that information, go check on manufacturers. Challenge them as well to give you the answers that you're looking for. Make sure that they can explain to you why their carpet tile is sustainable, and they have to be able to explain it to you in a very simple way. The carbon footprint, global warming potential is a very measurable way already to define that it's more sustainable.
I think designers also can ask a lot of questions as well to their suppliers, because for example, I've got a lot of suppliers who are really concerned about sustainability. So when they come in, I'm always saying to them, which one's the recycled one? Because I've got in my design studio, and anyone who's listening has probably heard me say this before. In my design studio, I have got a rack that is the sustainable rack. So we try and go there first whenever we're specifying anything. So anyone who's got a recycled product or something that's really eco, it goes there. So I had a supplier come in the other day who had no eco products at all in their whole range, and she brought in like 20 books of different fabrics, and there was different brands, and I don't know if it was because she didn't know, but I don't think it was, because she'd been there a long time, but she literally just dismissed the question. And for me, if you're a designer and you get that kind of reaction, that's something that you should maybe be considering not using, because that person doesn't care. And I've got so many people who've got so many things going, right, we're doing this and we're doing a bit like you know, you can't do everything, but we've got this going on and we've got that going on, and we're trying this out, and we're doing some R&D. And R&D is something that you do anyway in a as a manufacturer, isn't it? So I think if a designer's asking lots of questions to that, and they're getting and they're getting somebody coming in who doesn't care, then actually maybe we should be considering not using that company, because that's not going to be in line with our sustainability values.
But that's I mean, everybody has his responsibility here. I mean, if you're a customer, if you're looking for, or a designer, and you want to design something, and you want to make it sustainable, you make the choices.
Absolutely.
And sometimes indeed there is a cost involved. Let's face it, it's there, but you can make smart choices. Sometimes sustainability doesn't have to kill the bank. Sure, for our yarns, we have solutions. Maybe not going as far as you want, but take already the step. I mean, if you're faced with a budget as a designer and sustainability comes into place, inform yourself, but look out for what other solutions are out there. Not be convinced that that's the only one which is right. And challenge yourself into would this also be acceptable? Maybe the global warming potential is a little bit higher, but it's already quite a lot lower than what I have from a standard product, from another product, and go there. I think that's.
I think there's so many things that designers can do, and actually some of them make you money. So I hate seeing things go to landfill, and I have a small warehouse, and it's quite often full of second-hand furniture. Because I'm like, please don't throw that in the bin. Can we maybe talk about how you could sell it on eBay, or can I just take it? Can we just get it delivered to my warehouse and I'll sort it out? You know, and for me that's great, because I put it on Facebook Marketplace and get a bit of cash and a bit of nail money, and you know, give it to the nail man down the road. He's very happy. So it's all about kind of really considering everything that you're doing, isn't it? So considering the suppliers that you're using and how much they care about the product and the planet, and considering how you're behaving and how your clients are behaving, and is there anything you can do about that? And how can you make money out of it as well? You know, if you can be more sustainable and make a bit of money out of it at the same time, then absolutely.
Combination.
It's the same as you. You've got to have. It's got to be sustainable as a business to make it work. So.
There's maybe one, and it's interesting that you mentioned it. You've got a warehouse full of second-hand material and so on. Maybe that's a message not only towards the designers of our customers, but also the other designers. Design to recycle. Start designing with the recyclability of your project within 10 years, 15 years in mind. Because that's the issue that we're faced with today, or our industry is faced with today. I mean, 10 years ago we made carpets not taking into account that it had to be recycled, that it had to be recyclable. So we're stuck with that. There's quite a lot of material out there that potentially could still be reused, but today we can't get our hands on. And yes, there are players who are doing an incredible effort to make sure that they can recycle an old carpet into something usable again. But it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of also an economy of scale you're required. So maybe, and that's my personal opinion, we need to take a look at this a bit differently, and instead of everybody trying to do something in their own corner, do this as industry-wide, find a solution to take back all the material which is already out there and start reusing the polyamide that's already used to reintroduce that into the mix.
Absolutely.
Then you're talking about circularity.
Yeah, correct.
And that's most probably, and okay, when you ask me about exciting, it's about circularity as well, where I think that we're making steps forward. If we want to truly make it sustainable, it will go hand in hand with circularity. But circularity will require us as a yarn manufacturer, our customers as a carpet manufacturer, you as designers of spaces, take that circularity, recyclability already in hindsight when you're designing it. It's going to save us a lot of trouble in the future. Because we're now faced with the problems of not thinking about it 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think designers have got a responsibility. That we are all specifying things on our clients' behalf. Sometimes our clients don't care what we specify. And, you know, when you've got that situation, go for it. Go sustainable all day long. Because, and if we don't, we're going to be responsible for what happens in the future. So
in the end, yes.
But don't get paralyzed by the choices that you have to make. There's solutions out there, and sometimes it's better to take the in-between road than try to look for the ultimate, because then you get stuck as well. It's in steps. It's increments.
And it is about having those discussions and saying to saying to suppliers as designers, we expect this to be part of, I'm actually now thinking about this lady who came in the other day who dismissed the whole sustainability thing. I'm actually thinking about not, because we ordered some books, and I'm thinking about emailing her and saying, actually, do you know what?
Do it.
Oh. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me, Glenn and Valerie. You've been amazing. You've definitely given me a few things to go back and check in our studio, especially those sustainable swatches that mysteriously don't say where they're from. And for anyone who wants to find out more or order some samples, or where they can find you,
reach out.
I'll put all the information in the show notes. Is there anything you want to say on the podcast about how to contact you? Have you got, the Sustainable Yarns website is quite useful, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. That's the most easiest way to get in touch with us and get all the information that someone would need to read and to get acknowledged to it. So, yeah.
So if you're a flooring manufacturer and you're not being sustainable, they need to be talking to you.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Amazing.
They'll find a very open ear with us.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to rate, follow and share the podcast if you've enjoyed today's episode. It helps other designers find us. So please help us reach out. You've been listening to the Interior Design Podcast. I'm Hayley Roy and I'll catch you next time for more design chat, creative wisdom and a good helping of sustainability. Thank you for listening.